talk a little bit about Lyme disease. It's the #1 reason we get a phone call. And the people that have it are suffering horribly. It can mimic MS, ALS. It can mimic all your autoimmune diseases, your arthritis. You just go down the list. It just creates havoc with people. The Lyme pathogen is a spirochete. It has, over the long haul, the same effects on the human body as syphilis, even though it's should not be considered a sexually transmitted disease like syphilis. Not to say it couldn't be, but we don't view it that way, so we don't want to put that on it. But you know, over the long haul, people with syphilis, if they had it for 20, 30 years, some of them went insane. And you'll see people with late-stage Lyme, if they never do anything with it, and decades go by, they begin needing their Xanax, and they have stress, anxiety issues, panic attacks. Once it gets into the brain area, and here again, syphilis, it's a spirochete. Lyme disease, spirochete. The body don't know the difference. It's getting chewed on. That's all. Whether it's chewed on by a pit bull or a German shepherd, it's a dog's a dog. And it's got me by the ankle. See? And so it's probably more rampant than the CDC will admit. Now, there are some speculations out there. They're not proven that 30, 40, 50% of people may be infected with Lyme. Hopefully that's not our future, you know, for any of us here. But the last workshop we had, a young lady sat right here in this chair, tears running down her eyes when Dan had his part. You remember that, Dan?
Yeah.
Very young with Lyme, and their lives are being destroyed. I had a young lady in here. She's just approaching graduation. She came down my steps into my laboratory with one leg working, the other one is now non-functional. She's lost the neurological function of her right foot. The doctors cannot find any back problems or neurological reason why this has happened other than potentially Lyme disease, which she's probably had for years, has destroyed that functionality. And so people are suffering horribly. They're looking for answers. And so the Lyme Protocols folder, and I'm going to go back to our software here while we're on Lyme. When I hit Open Home, you're going to see two folders here. Here's your Lyme Protocols. This is our standard protocol. This is the Lyme Experimental. These are out of Florida. Now, I don't start people on the XP2 protocols personally till they've been through Lyme Protocols folder by itself. We do have reports from people that begin to flatline after many months. If they go to Lyme Protocols 2, they're getting new herxes. And so those programs are very special. They are based on work that was done with, say, the CDC. Measurements were actually taken from a database, run through a computer program to come up with usable frequencies. So this is not your normal frequency research. Excuse me, a little tightness in my throat there. Now in Lyme Protocols 2, these are your 4 programs. Many people cannot handle all 4 of these. The goal is to get them to run an intense session to get through this situation as quickly as possible. The Lyme disease fundamental is the most gentle because it's run to the foot bath. Okay, so if they're struggling with herx, that's an easy way to break them in. The Lyme and Rocky Mountain would be the next step. This is a very intense program because now we're using bulb. This program, generally speaking, has been a good program for most people that come into us and report success against Lyme. But it will not resolve all their problems by any means, but it can be a huge program for them. I go back here again. You've got the overnight set. And here again, this is going to run for 6 hours and 55 minutes. This is covering the secondary infections. We've continued to modify this as more research comes in. Covers many of the secondary infections. It also covers, let me open this up. the Lyme hatchling eggs. Now, this program here, according to some people that do a lot of work with Lyme, should be run on a full moon. Now, I'm not going to stand by that or against it. I'm just telling you there are some Lyme researchers, they want this run. Now, it's always run in the overnight set. But they say during a full moon, during that cycle, the Lyme hatchlings, they feel from their research, is resurging more than any other time during the month. Not to say Lyme cannot hatch out or it cannot get into its new life cycle unless there's a full moon. We're not dealing with werewolves here, okay? So we don't want to go crazy with that. But I did add that Lyme hatchling program so that if you want to, you can run it in addition, which means you're going to be running it twice during the same session if someone's working with Lyme. During certain cycles, if they feel that's important to them. So that's why that's in there. And here again, I'm not standing by that research, or I'm not opposed or against it. I'm just telling you this is what some people are saying, that's when that should be run. And but there's a program there. This would not normally be run during the instructions that are in each of these programs for the regular Lyme protocols, because Lyme hatchlings is already covered in the overnight set. So they're going to get it every night anyway. But some people want to run it again during a full moon. That kind of makes sense. Yeah, it's...
Full moon is really effective in drawing water up,
It may, some of these things may be affected by those kind of changes, more than the tide. So, it's something that, to consider. But here again, I can't validate. I don't have no research to back it up. But it doesn't hurt, to do something like that either. So, okay, let's pop out of here. All right. There are two new programs, or three, that we have not validated at all. These are in the IM ProWay folder for Lyme disease. It's called Liberator Lyme Infection. And this is from Frequency Protocol Services out of Florida. These were donated to us. There's actually 3 programs in here. These can only be run on the new Liberator or the late model Raptors, because the pulse rate is so high it will not run. It won't hurt your machine, but it simply will not run on the older devices. There's a new board in these newer models that has a 1.5 million cycle channel B. The older models have 1.5 million cycles on channel A and 100,000 hertz on channel B, which for 99.9% of everything we would ever write is just fine. But when you get into this guy in Florida, he's a computer programmer. If you tell him, look, you can run this on this channel, he's going to try some new things. So that's what those programs are about.